Hello everyone, my name is Pris from prisperuses and welcome to another video. Today I am giving you one of my most requested videos, and that is my top 10 middle grades of all time. I am very excited to give you this list. This list is also gonna be a little bit of a series because I am also going to film my top 10 YA and my top 10 adult books. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But first we are diving into some middle grade books. This was actually very hard for me to do so. Not only to pick only 10 middle grade books, but to list them in order of which one do I like more. Also with series, I am giving them their entire spot for the whole series, because otherwise this would not have been a top 10 but either a top 50. Let's dive into them. At number 10 we have POTKIN and STUBBS by Sophie Green. I picked this up upon recommendation from Jade Read, and honestly this is fantastic. Underrated as hell. You need to pick this up. This is about Lil POTKIN, and she wants to become the best reporter in her little town. Now her little town is a little bit creepy and a little bit weird because strange things happen there. Together with her best friend Nat, she finds out about all the shenanigans that are going on, and honestly this is just so good. It is true crime, paranormal, it has a very eerie and dark undertone, a very noir true crime setting, and I absolutely loved it. Also the second book in this series gave me the shit. I swear to God, I was so scared. I was so scared. Just beware, it gets scary, but I honestly love this series. I love Lil and Nat together and all the adventures they go on together, so this is my number 10. At number 9 we have the Polar Bear Explorers Club by Alex Bell. This is a trilogy that I absolutely love. This is all about Stella Starflake who wants to become an explorer, but girls cannot be explorers. Well, Stella thinks that this is bullshit, and I agree with her wholeheartedly. So together with some friends, she goes on this epic quest to the Iceland. They run themselves into a whole lot of trouble. Stella learns all about herself and her powers. And this series is just incredible. This gets better and better for me, because after this we have Explorers on Witch Mountain and Explorers on Black Eye Bridge, and I do believe that every single books get better. This series is just honestly fantastic. It has such a polar wintry feel to it that I absolutely love. I highly recommend. Number 9. Then at number 8 we have the Wizard of One series by CRESSIDAWELL. I absolutely love this. I fell in love with this from the very first page. This is so wacky and nonsensical that it is not for everyone, but I am a 6-year-old, so I vibed with this wholeheartedly. This is about a boy called Czar who is a wizard and a girl called Witch who is a warrior, and they are sworn enemies. However, it looks like the witches have come back and they may have to join forces to defeat them. This book is just fantastic. I absolutely loved the series. When you are reading this, I highly recommend that you pick up the audiobooks, because the audiobooks are narrated by David Tennant, and reading along with the audiobooks gives you an incredible experience. It's so good. It's full of nonsensicalness. Like you read stuff and you're like, what the hell am I reading? But I absolutely love that in book. The narrator of this story is somebody in this book, but we don't know who it is. You only find out until the end of book 4, which is such a cool twist because you keep guessing who the narrator of this story might be. Honestly, it's just such a cool series and I highly recommend. Then on number 7 we have the Adventures on Terrain series. I already talked about the series many times, but this is so much fun. This is all about a boy called Hal and his uncle Nat. They go on a whole wide adventures on train rides together, because his uncle Nat is actually a writer. He writes about trains, he writes articles about them, so he gets invited on all these weird types of trains and he takes his nephew with him. However, every single time they board a train, shit hits the fan. Somebody gets kidnapped, murdered, there are some stolen things, some things get sabotaged, and it's just a wild, wild ride. Hal and Nat try to find out every single time who is behind it. It's just so much fun. These two together are, honestly, they are fantastic. Hal makes friends with every single journey, and he also likes to draw. So every single time he draws up what he thinks are suspicious situations. He draws up all the suspects within the crime. And it's honestly just a fantastic and good time. I think the favorite in my series must be the last one, which was Sabotage on the Solar Express. I thought that was so good. But all these books are honestly incredible, and it's just a good fun time. Then at number 6 we have a middle grade that I think is highly underrated, and that is Breadcrumbs by Anna Ursu. This is a retelling of the Snow Queen. This middle grade was honestly mind-blowing. This was so incredibly beautiful, also really sad. It was such a magical, whimsical story about growing up, about friendship, and I honestly fell in love with the writing style. I fell in love with the story. I read this during a polathon, I think, and I remember being so utterly in love by this book. It just grasped me from the very first page, and I think it does not get talked enough about. It's just honestly really beautiful. It has a very sad undertone to it as well. I think it's quite deep for a middle grade. This was honestly beautiful. Really beautiful. And we're getting into the top 5. Can you guess what's in my top 5? If you're watching this right now, leave a comment now what you think will be my top 5. I'm interested to see. And then watch further and see if you're alright. At number 5 we have A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. This, guys, is so good. It's whimsical, magical. It has 3 sisters, Betty, Fliss and Charlie, who go on these epic adventures together throughout the series. In the first one they have to deal with a curse. They have some magical artifacts with them to guide them within their journeys. They have a grandmother that's absolutely hilarious. And honestly, the best thing about these books is Charlie. Charlie must be protected at all costs. She is constantly hungry and she loves animals. She is a sassy queen, and I love her to absolute pieces. This whole series is just so much fun. I gave every single book within this series 5 stars. It is very hard for me to pick a favorite. It might be the second one. I'm not entirely sure. These are so incredibly good. They go to all sorts of places. They have all types of adventures. These books have one of my favorite tropes, which is stories within stories. And honestly, this is just a fantastic magical series that you need to pick up. Then at number 4 we have Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I know this is a very beloved middle grade. You are right. This is absolutely fantastic. This is all about Moroccan Crow, who is destined to die on her 11th birthday. However, that does not happen. She does not die on her 11th birthday, but instead she gets whisked away by Jupiter Nord, a very eccentric man, and he takes her to this world of Nevermore. There she has to compete in some trials to ensure her place in this world. This world is fantastic. Trials are one of my favorite tropes in books, so that was a huge plus. But honestly, this series also gets better with every single book. I loved this one. Wondersmith was even better. Hollowpox just was out of this world. I absolutely love this series. I love the places in this series. Morrigan stays at this fantastic hotel. The characters are amazing. The movie rights of this have been purchased. It's been said that this is going to be a musical film, which when I heard the news, I was like almost fainting out of excitement, because I feel that a musical film would really fit this. So I'm hoping they will not fuck this up. But I also saw that the maker of The Greatest Showman is involved, so I have high hope that it will be okay. But I am just so excited, and I cannot wait for the next one to come out, Silverborn, later this year. I just might reread them before that. We are down to the top 3. Number 3 is The Girl Who Speaks Bear by Sophie Anderson. This third place is maybe not only for The Girl Who Speaks Bear but also Sophie's other books. However, The Girl Who Speaks Bear is my absolute favorite. I love this book with all of my being. This book is so good. It is so magical. It is whimsical. It has stories within stories that make sense and are woven into the real story in such a brilliant, clever way. I got to meet Sophie back in March, which was incredible. She is honestly the kindest human on this planet. I recently reread this and it's just so fantastic. This is about a girl called Yanka. One day she wakes up with bare legs. She goes on an adventure into a forest that has been calling to her to find answers about her past. She makes friends along the way, and honestly, this was so beautiful and I get emotional every single time I read this. This is about found family. This is about being grateful for what you have, but also learning about yourself, where you come from. It's okay to leave the past behind. It does not define you in any way, and just coming to terms with who you are as a person and accepting yourself. And honestly, it's just absolutely beautiful and I highly recommend that you pick this up. Also, The House with Chicken Leg, The Castle of Tangled Magic, and The Thief Who Sang Storms are all brilliant, but this one is my favorite. Top 2. At number 2 we have Keeper of the Lost Cities. Oh, are you surprised? For the longest time, this was my favorite middle grade of all time, but it got bumped down to second place, which is still fantastic, honestly. I know Keeper of the Lost Cities is a series that you guys associate with me the most. It's become part of my branding at this point, which I'm absolutely fine with, let me tell you. I love this series. I am rereading it now for my own keeper along. It's been the best experience. This series is about a girl called Sophie. She gets whisked away by a boy called Fitz, and he tells her that she is actually an elf and she needs to come with him. So she gets whisked away from her human world into the elfish world, and there she learns all about her powers. She makes friends there, she goes to school there, and from there all revelations are being revealed. This series is just so much fun. They are quite chunky middle grades, but they read so fast. I absolutely love it with my whole being. So number 2, Keeper of the Lost City series. Then at number 1, and it recently earned a spot as my number 1 favorite middle grade of all time, and that is the Starfell series by Dominique Valente. Guys, I recently read the series and I fell head over heels in love with the series. I've done a vlog about it. I will link it down below. You can see me cry my eyes out because this series was incredible. I am holding the second book, which is my favorite. Objectively, I'm gonna say third one has the best story, but for me, emotionally, the second one is my favorite because it hit so very close to home and I sobbed my eyes out during it. This series is about a girl called Willow Moss, and she has the power to find lost things. In her world, that's not very flashy, it's not very interesting, and she gets often laughed about. That is, however, until Last Tuesday goes missing in the first book. Willow Moss must go on an epic quest to find Lost Tuesday and save the world. Throughout the series, she makes many friends, and you can really see her grow as a person, and it's been the best time seeing that happen. You see her being very insecure in the beginning, to growing within herself, accepting herself, standing within herself in her power, being proud of her powers, and honestly, it's been the best thing. The side characters are amazing. She makes friends in every single book. We see old characters come back. She has a sassy sidekick, which is a kobold cat called Oswald, which is honestly the best thing about this book. This just blew me away. I think this is kinda Nevermore meets Wizard of Wands. For me, it has the whimsicalness, the magicalness of Nevermore mixed with the nonsensicalness of Wizard of Wands, but not overdone. With Wizard of Wands, you sometimes have like, what the hell am I reading? With this, it's a touch of nonsensicalness that makes you laugh, and it's just honestly just the right dose, and I just fell head over heels in love with this series. This is so good. I just don't understand why not more people are talking about this, because please go read this series. It is incredible, okay? You need to read this. I am making you read this, okay? You need to read this. This is just so good. I can gush about the series for hours. I'm not gonna do that. But this is now my all-time favorite middle grade series. And I'm just so happy that I found the series, that it came into my life. And Dominique, you better write like another 50 books of this, because I want more. There you have it, my loves. That was my top 10 middle grade. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Have you read any of these books? Please do let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts were on those. I would love to know what is your top 3 middle grade series of all time. Also let me know down below in the comments. I would love to know. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for your continued support. I am gonna leave you now, but I will be hopefully back with another video. Bye!